Hello there, Angry Welshman back again with another short video. Now, this video, as you can possibly clearly tell, is from Subirats. You can probably see where this is going. And it says, globe Earth pole stars debunked. So he's reckoning that that pole stars, or what we observe with the pole stars at least, is impossible on the globe model. Now, I would like to point out that it would be impossible on the flat Earth model unless it was the space that was turning. But, however, that goes against all observations that we currently have. I mean, if the stars above the flat Earth were circling, like just in a normal circle pattern, fine, in observations of what you're looking at if you were looking directly at the at Polaris. However, that does not account for any star motions that you see in the southern hemisphere, or even if you are on the equator looking east or west. However, they choose to ignore that. So, I'm not going to watch this video because I've already seen the video. So, he is comparing this little tabletop thing of his to the equator line, as you can see, but he's, this lovely assistant here is pointing it out for us. And his smug little face gets quite annoying eventually. So he gets his little bit of spaghetti, which he needed to show us that for some reason. I have no idea why. Okay, so he puts it there and spins it around. And he's trying to look smug and interesting. Oh, look, a fly just flew across the screen. Oh, there he goes again. And, he takes it off. So he spins it. So I'm not really sure what he's trying to actually show us here, with no other kind of visual representation available. What he's saying is that if you were on the equator, which is depending on what landmass you're on, depending if you see Polaris or not from there, what he's saying is that Polaris would never stay fixed in the same place in the sky if the Earth was a globe. Okay, so now he continues. Now he puts it on his globe model and does the same thing. So he turns it to us this way in a moment. There we are, see? Even though he completely ignores the sense of scale and distance. But never mind, I mean, Flat Earthers always seem to have a problem with that. And just to finish it off...
it is the outer edge of the gyroscope,
Polaris.
that velocity, which
I have no idea what the fuck that last face was for, but hey. But... coming up now, I'm going to use Maya software to prove my point, is that he's deliberately being, idiotic here. He's either doing this on purpose, or he's taking the piss, or he actually thinks he's got a point on here. Which I'm going to show on Maya now shortly on why this isn't the case. And the only reason why I do this is because people follow a guy like this. I don't get many views, yeah sure, but to be honest with you, that doesn't bother me, never has. It doesn't exactly mean I'm any less wrong. Okay, so now I'm going to just stop the video here and I'm going to go straight to my Maya software. Okay, now as you can see here, what I've got here is the Earth. Okay, I've got the Earth here. Now here are two cameras. I've got one pointing up towards Polaris. Okay, as you can see, it's at 90. It's pointing 90 degrees, and I've got another one pointing at minus 90. So it's pointing down. I've also got a third camera, which is skewed to the other direction. So basically, the south celestial pole would be to the corner of the screen instead of it being in the center. So you're not particularly looking straight at it in that sense. So what I have here, if I can find it on here, because I did put them quite far away. There they are, look. So here are the stars down here for the South Celestial Pole, and here are the stars for the North Celestial Pole. As you can clearly tell, I've put these quite far away. Oh, there they are. So as you can see, look, see. So there's those stars, and just to basically show here that the actual Polaris is dead center to where, like, you know, I'm not this is just for frame of reference, okay? So Polaris is the big star down here. So I'm going to pull all these down, zoom in, and I'm going to continue pulling these down until they pass through. So as you can clearly tell, the main star, Polaris, is going dead center. Okay, so there they are up there. Okay, so let's continue with the animation. All right, and now just to prove my point that there's no tomfoolery going on here, okay, let me just zoom in on here, find the two cameras. Okay, so what's happening is I am pulling the slider, and there go the cameras rotating. So it's literally just rotating with the Earth. Okay, so you can see the cameras following it. So it's like an observer on the ground as the Earth is rotating. Alright, so that's the slider moving. Okay, so now I'm going to go find my stars. Okay, move the same slider, and those stars are not moving. So it's not the stars that are turning here. I'm not trying to fool anybody. That's not the stars that are moving. It's the Earth. So look, just zoomed in down there. As you can clearly tell, you can see movement on that part of the screen. Okay. So now onto the cameras. So go to camera 1, which is the one looking at the pole. Now remember, it's 90 degrees. This is only in the middle of frame, I think, due to, you know, due to the scale I've got here. So it's at 90 degrees. It's pointing up at 90 degrees. But remember, the camera is not dead center in the center of the sphere. It's orbiting around the outside. Okay, so this is you know, compliant to just basically. Let's go back to the perspective camera here. As you can tell from these cameras, it's exactly like where Subirats put his spaghetti pieces. Pointing straight up. Pointing straight up, you know what I mean? So you think of a changing frame of reference. Okay, so this is camera 1 looking at Polaris. So here's Polaris. Okay. Here we go. Spin the camera. And look at that, see? Perfect circle anti-clockwise, as it does in real life. Okay, if you don't believe me on that, let's go and put this panel to camera 1. Let's find where the cameras are. They are blooming tiny, unfortunately, which is unfortunate for this. But like I said, so look, I'm going to pull this slider. So like, see, it's a bit of a jump there because I'm focused on this one. That's turning. and so is that. Go on this screen, that's now smooth. Okay. So, camera shape 1. Stars rotating around the pole stars, they should. I know the actual Polaris is about 1 degree off, but that's not what I'm trying to prove here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to camera 2, which is the camera pointing to the south celestial pole. And all it is pointing down, and look, now it's spinning clockwise, as they do in real life. This is what you observe. There's not much else I can tell you. So this is clockwise and anti-clockwise. The flat Earth model cannot explain this. Orbital mechanics and the globe Earth model perfectly do, but the flat Earth can't. Now I'm going to go to camera 3, okay, which has the camera pointing. So basically, my eyes would be pointing technically around about here. So it's got the south celestial pole off to the corner of the screen. Now I'll play the animation. And there we are, spinning in a perfect circle. So you can imagine more stars over here would be all spinning in a circular motion. Like I said, just to show you, okay, let's go down to this pole. Okay, so let's zoom in. See, I'm going to pull this slider across. It's not the stars that are moving. And like I said before, this star I've got dead center to the center of the sphere. Now, zoom in again to the Earth. Right, where's the off-kilter camera? Just to prove it. Okay, look, see? It's not pointing 90 degrees straight down. It's off to the side. So I've got it set up on the actual camera as if my eyes were actually pointing that way. So that's why the celestial pole is off to the corner of the screen. And lo and behold, it does exactly the same as you observe. And there we have it. So it just proves that Antonio talks shit constantly, but nothing really surprising there. And the fact that he has no idea what the fucking hell he's talking about. So hopefully one day now, with the limited time I have available, because I have got deadlines to meet, if anybody would like me to see if I could spend a bit of time, and I might make a full solar system to actually animate in this, and then stick the camera in a certain place and see what we observe then, to see if it actually matches up to what as the flat earthers like to say, what we are being told. Because conspiracy. Okay? Just leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again.